Oh, you're fine. Either or is fine.
All right.
Okay. All right. Our first book club live stream of the year. Woo woo! And we have a new co-host. Woo woo woo!
Yes.
So, Brandie, go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks.
Well, hello everyone. My channel is Books with Brandie Shanae. I read pretty much anything and everything, and bookish things. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yay! Super excited. It feels like forever since we've talked about a book, y'all.
I was like, what was the last book we talked about?
It was Islet Witness.
Islet Witness.
Yes.
That's 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a whole year has passed, guys.
I'd like that. See you next year.
Sorry.
Okay.
Bad dad joke, but I love it so
it's
much.
all right. You just have to wait a whole other year to make it again.
I know. I always wait for it at work too. Like I like look forward to my last day working, and like I get towards the end of my shift and I like wait for it, and then I'm like, you know what? You guys have done such a great job. Take the rest of the year off. I don't want to see you guys for a year. And they're like, oh, Jen, and I'm like, that's okay. I understand it's a dad joke, but dad jokes are my favorite. Give them to me all the time.
Yeah. All right. So we are talking about this beauty, Skin of the Sea, by Natasha Bowen. Oh my gosh. I was
you love mermaids though.
Things. I love mermaids. I honestly, I predicted this was going to be a 5-star read, and it is. It's a 5-star read for me. I was going through all kinds of emotions today. I was at work while I was finishing the last 100 pages where stuff really hit the fan. I was trying to hold it together. I'm like, I'm fine.
Are you, Nicole? Are you?
Natasha Bowen actually liked my tweet, and she went like the one where I had the book in the freezer. She did like the double eye emoji. I'm fine. I really am.
Was that for the end of the book?
Huh?
When it went to the freezer?
Yeah, when it went to the freezer.
Yeah, it had to be the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to think of any other moment, and I'm like,
I thought maybe the bird monster thing.
Oh yeah,
that was rough.
I was just like, no, and the crunch of the bones. I was like, that was harsh.
That was way to throw that in. Thank you. We needed that.
We needed just that imagery.
And then like they flew away with the lifeless body. I'm like, at least leave the body for them so that they can bring it back. Like rude.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's when the book went in the freezer. It was when Issa died, and I was just like, I'm fine. Cola told you to go home.
I know, right?
But he was a stowaway, and he was just like, I'll be fine. I want to fight. I'm like, nothing better happened to this poor angel. And then
But I had a feeling, because especially when like Koa he made the promise that he would protect him, and then and that really got to me, especially when that really made me sad. But
he Cola broke down too. He was like, oh my gosh, and they were hugging, and I'm just like,
yeah, I like that delayed reaction there too. Like, he was had that adrenaline in that moment of like, we have to leave, but then there was that breakdown that happened.
Oh yeah, that part. Like, seriously, those last 100 pages just really, it was like a sprint, honestly. Like, everything was happening, and I was like, oh my gosh, my heart was pounding like during that last part of the book. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I kept turning the pages. So I'm like, okay, what happens next? What happens next? Oh my gosh, who's gonna die next? I'm like,
yeah, after one of them goes, you're just like, all right, anyone's fair game at this point, because you have to figure out like where the author's at, like where's their level of I'll kill a character, and it's just like, oh, they got close to it, but they didn't quite die. So you're just like, you never like expect someone to die, and then once they start killing people, like, okay, don't get attached to anyone, they're all fair game.
especially that. Oh, go ahead.
Going for a young one. Killing kids, like, oh my gosh. Because when he reappears being the stowaway and everything, I was like, oh, well, he's a kid. He's gonna be fine. He'll make it through.
Yeah.
Nope. I started to get worried when Yinka stayed behind to fight the hyenas, and I started to get really worried. I was like, no.
Well, they didn't necessarily state that she died, right?
Yeah, that's
they
what I'm thinking. She might come back in the second book. That's what I'm hoping for, because they never really killed her, you know?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Who knows?
And I'm really hoping that Ben, well, I'm really glad first that Ben did not like try and jump, because I was just like, as soon as like another thing, I was like, you're already injured, son. Like it's gonna be like one of those cat videos where they try and they're like, beep. And so I was like prepared for that to happen, and just like rocky grave. So when he made it back, I was like, so you might still be with the firm. Who knows?
Yes, that's true. But I was just like, it was like at the point where I was like, okay, yes, our characters are in like life or death situations. But like that was the point where I was like, this author just might be okay killing characters. And I was like, I was really worried.
Well, she killed Cola for a moment. I was just like, oh dang.
Oh no.
I feel like Cola nearly died like 17 times.
Oh, yeah.
This is also
Pretty much.
Like from start to finish, you know? I was like, oh my gosh. But oh my gosh, this and also this book was just beautifully written. I felt like, oh my gosh, those first couple chapters were pretty rough. I mean, it's good that the author put the content warnings in the beginning. So yeah, it was very, very sad. But yeah, just how she writes so lyrically, almost like it was it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful book. And it's a beautiful book with the words. And then this cover is just gorgeous. And then I annotated it with this washi tape that I really, really like.
Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah. I love that.
So, so I first saw like the annotating with the washi tape from Injiri pages. So that's where I first saw it from. And I was like, that's actually really cool. And so I went crazy on the washi tape.
Yeah, I know. I saw you buy like 40 things, and I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna do with all of that? Pardon my French, but I was like I was trying to think in my mind, I'm like, what could she possibly using this for? I'm like, are you just gonna like tape your book, like book edges? Do you know how to like slice each page afterwards?
I was there in the, can you see it kind of?
Oh yeah, I can.
Mm-hmm. I think it looks really pretty, especially with the foil.
I might have to try that.
The audio was fantastic. I loved it.
I didn't even listen to the audiobook, but I should definitely do that. Probably when I reread it before the second book comes out.
Yes, it's so good. The narrator is fantastic. Oh my gosh, so good. But I have a lot of post notes. I felt like I was underlining everything. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, so I really liked all the mythology. I really love all of that and how it was explained very well, but not like, I mean, I feel like this is an epic fantasy, but it's not as like chunky as some epic fantasies are. So like, yes, she writes beautifully and she explained everything very, very well. Well, I still feel like it's an epic fantasy, but not like, she still had some sort of brevity, which is nice. But yeah, I was like Googling things. I was like doing some research. I was going really hard on this book, but so I loved that when she had the talk with, let me see. I have it in here somewhere. Okay, so before that, my first post-it note is she's still remembering her human memories because she's still turning back into human. Like when she goes to the island to, you know, give the souls over, and she's turning human and she's remembering her mother. And she said the soul that she just, you know, like saved from the woman that was thrown overboard. She reminded her of her mother, and so she just wanted to remember that. And I just thought that was really interesting because there have been Mami Wadas, right? 7, right?
7.
Mm-hmm. 7. But she's the only one who wants to keep that part of herself. Like, I guess like everyone else was just, you know, just forgetting. Yeah, I was like, and I just loved when she was changing back into her mermaid self. As everything changed, as like a memory would go, like she could no longer remember her mother's, her mother's face or her smile, but her eyes stayed with her. And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I just
like, I can't imagine doing that, like forgetting every single thing. Like
everything.
I don't know how it would, like, especially when people lose their memory, they lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, like, I really feel like she really wanted to keep that essence of her, of a part of something where she, had come from, But
Mm-hmm. I also like that we got her story at the end. She had the flash where, she actually jumped. She didn't, she
wasn't pushed or
she was
shackled over.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. I have more. More.
I like the story about how she was born.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know that I'm like skipping halfway through the book, but
no, go ahead. No.
I'll say my unpopular opinion now. As poetic, I feel like an audiobook would have helped me out a lot because I felt like for the first half I was bored. It just seemed like it was going very slow. Like I enjoyed it. I giving the book 4 stars for sure. But honestly, I was going to give it 3 stars until I read the author's note. And then when I found out some of the history, I was like, oh, that's actually really fascinating. I kind of want to go back and reread it and be like, okay, with that knowledge, kind of like you, Nicole, maybe like write a few things down or do some research while I'm reading it. Because it was very fascinating. I'm like, oh, I really actually kind of want to take some of those book suggestions that she gave at the end, like for further information, go through some of these. And I'm like, okay, I might try and check a couple of those out. But for me, like for the longest time, I was not wanting to pick up the book. And I was like, oh my God, I've been duped by another really pretty cover. But then, like after they hit the island and they kind of started on their journey, I was just like, okay, but I didn't read the synopsis. And I'm like, it's not a monster. Mermaids aren't monsters. But at the same time, I'm like, there was just a part of it where I couldn't connect with it. And I'm just like, I'm just kind of reading this for book club. But I very much enjoyed it. Like I was really happy with the story by the end of it. But yeah, there were certain aspects of it where like I thought that I didn't like it, and this always happens during the live stream. You guys always pull those moments from early in the book that I forget. And I'm just like, oh yeah, like I really did enjoy that. So yeah, I feel like next time if I read this book, it's definitely going to be an audio book because then it kind of, I think maybe some of the names kind of trip me up. And so I'd like stop myself and try and like talk it out. But yeah, I mean, I still very much enjoyed the book. But yeah, there were a lot of those aspects about things, learning about her past, like how, I'm not even going to be able to say the Lady of the Sea's name. Is it
Yamoja?
Yamoja. Aha! Okay, sorry. This is why I need the audiobook because I hate not like trying to figure it out. Hermione. Who knows how you say her name?
This was honestly definitely great book, audiobook.
Yeah, so I think definitely I would go and get like an audiobook credit of it and, read it that way because I do want to continue with it. I'm very curious to see, how the next book goes. But yeah, it was a very, like you're saying, there's a lot of lyrical, very beautiful descriptions of things. Just occasionally I felt like it was too long. So even though you were like, it was short, and I'm like, maybe it was because I physically read it. And it became one of those things where I pushed it off to the last moment, which I shouldn't have. So then I'm like dreading reading it because I'm like, I've got to have a deadline. So I'm really hoping to reread it the next time without a deadline so that I can just like actually enjoy the story. Because I don't know why I started saying all of that. So someone else go.
No, it's a good point though. The book, like I was enjoying it at the beginning. I was getting into, the mythos and everything of it. But I was thinking it was going to end up lighter on the fantasy until that moment on the boat when the two gods just like essentially crashed down onto the deck. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. All right, we got. Got some
I really
serious
like the woman god was like on her side, like let's get you out of here. So I was like, not everyone's like corrupted.
Yeah. Oh, the whole. That plot twist, I'm skipping just because like it's in my head
You're breaking up, Nicole.
You're breaking up.
No.
Oh God, we've lost her completely. Now she's frozen.
No.
I don't know how to host without Nicole. I don't have any books of Kingdom of the Wicked. Although my last copy of Kingdom of the Curse came in today, and I haven't opened it because I was like, I gotta finish this book. I need to plan my reading better, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you.
My copy came too.
Oh, yay!
So I'm excited to read it.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Honestly, I don't know what else to do. I feel like reset my router like every single time before the live. Like my phone isn't even connected to my Wi-Fi. Like I don't know what else to do.
Okay, you're coming back now though.
Yes.
Quick, tell us what you were saying. Go.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Oh,
No, but the plot twist.
The plot twist, yeah.
Yeah, plot twist at the I'm like, skipping like way to the end, but like the plot twist where let me actually get because I have the post-it note where it was actually issue with them like that entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of saw that just at the very last minute. As soon as he came up and he's like, "Where's your ring?" I was like, "That's not fucking Cola. Get out of here! Like, don't say anything. All your words better be hush hush." And then I also, by a miracle, also saw like whenever we didn't hear what was whispered, and I'm like, I bet you anything. I thought that they were gonna switch places. Like she was gonna be chained at the bottom of the ocean. Like I kind of foresaw that just a little bit. They had a little bit of a twisty thing, and I love the Pearl where she's like, "You can summon me," and I was like, "Yes, get that guy, drown him in the ocean." But I guess he's like a god, so he can't drown. But
yeah,
I was a little bummed about that. But at least he'll get retribution. Is that the right thing? Retribution from the Supreme God. I hope he sucks. I got some low-key vibes too. Anyways, Nicole, go ahead. I should probably say real fast. I had a cold brew this afternoon, so I am feeling it. So I apologize. It's gonna be worse than alcohol because I'm gonna be talking a mile a minute, and also like filters off. So yeah.
So in, like with the plot twist that I'm talking about, it wasn't that he was impersonating Cola. It was that he was impersonating what's his name, Epideo. So I was just like, what? I knew, like, hey, that's not Cola. Like, he wouldn't be just like,
where's your ring? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we lost you again.
Oh, yeah.
But it's fine.
I think you're
coming
back.
Talk.
No, you're back. Go.
You're coming back.
Someone else talk.
No, I was suspicious of everyone in the close circle. I was pretty suspicious of Kala for a while too, because she kept getting the warnings of that, like, he's the trickster, like he's gonna be doing something shifty. And usually when the enemy is mysterious and they're chasing it and can't find them, they're usually with them the whole time. So that's just unusual, tropes in that. So I kind of saw that, but I didn't know who it was until right then.
I was kind of suspicious of him at the very beginning because at first, like when and this is like way at the beginning when he was drowning, and then he was very like held onto her wrist and kind of held her there on the island. Like I was very suspicious of him until he got to the island, and then I was like, oh, I think I can trust you. I didn't even think about trickster. I know earlier I said like I got some low-key vibes. That part went over my head.
I think it's natural that she didn't trust him. She didn't really know nothing about him, and he also seemed a little iffy because he didn't really want to talk about his background, except he wanted to go home. But he didn't mention anything about his siblings until like later on.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like he even though she was asking, like he never was just like never really kind of like told her like why he wanted to go home. Like like now that we know was to protect the identity of his, siblings and everything. But it's just like, okay, first of all, you sound very ungrateful. Second of all, like she just saved your life. And when he was just like, well, we have to summon, it's like, we have to summon her. Like, that's the only way I have to get home like now. I have to get home like today. And, and when they were going over that, and even she's thinking like, she's thinking of what Imoja was telling her, like of her, like what her job was. It's like you are to get the souls of the people who die, in the sea, like nothing more, nothing less. And she was even saying here, and she said, I was able to bless her soul, but that was all. With Cola, I have a chance to do more. And I'm just like, she said nothing more, nothing less. So when they're like, we have to summon her. We have to summon her today. And I'm like, I don't really think that's going to be a good idea. I honestly was like,
if you think about it, like that's what I think. When she kept her memories, right? She still kept her humanity.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why she, saved him, because I feel like if she lost all her memories, she probably would have just done what Umoja had told her to do.
Yeah. And I'm really glad that she didn't let him drown. Like, she recognized that he was alive, and you're right, like that little bit of humanity left, and she's just like, he's technically not dead. I can't collect his soul, and I'm not going to sit here and wait for it. I don't think I would be able to do that either. I'd be like, all right, let's go back to the surface. Like, swim away, sharks. This one's mine.
Especially the sharks surrounding his body.
That made me so nervous, especially because, like, as she was swimming to the island, they were following her. I'm like, go away, fishy. I'm okay. But he's, like, bleeding out. So I'm just like, oh.
But they listened to her, though. She said, go away. And
better than the hyenas did.
No. I'm like, they're not really sea creatures, and they were actually like shifters. They weren't actually like animals. Like, but it's just like she was like, well, maybe they're like, I don't have just influence over sea creatures. I'm like, I don't think so.
I was hoping she was like all powerful.
But it's like she was really worried about when what Umoja would, think, and I was kind of worried too. But like when we get to the end, and she was with Olodumare, and he was showing his, like, he was grateful. He was like feeling like he didn't express it, but she felt like gratitude from him, and I was just like, oh, she made the right decision. And then it's because Isu just was not doing his job, not telling him anything, so he was totally just
such a dick,
just out of touch.
Exactly. Like, I didn't know what was happening. And when we find out that Isu was actually the one that her Umoja with the scratches on her face and saying that it was from, and I'm just like, oh, that's so messed up.
Yeah, like, he didn't tell me how to dish out the punishment, but she had to be put in her place. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm a big cursing. I guess caffeine makes me curse. Super sorry.
But it's okay. My channel is not safe for children. We know this.
But yeah, I didn't like him based off of the descriptions, but as you found out like how dirty he was, I was just like, I really want you. It was breath of scandal moment. I wanted him to get hit by a train. Like, the more we learned about how devious he was, like, I really just hated him. Sometimes I shouldn't have to whisper all these secrets into their ear. It's not your job to tell. If your job is to be a messenger, someone gives you a message, you deliver it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Literally, like, you had one job. That's literally like you had one job.
But then Simi had one job also. True. So,
Don't go there, Aaron. Okay.
But if she didn't save him, then it would all have been bad.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. There'd be no story. There'd be no story. The book would have ended like right here. That's it. Done.
I was worried they were going to try and redeem him, because there were those like moments of like, no, he's just misunderstood, and everyone's like, no.
No, it's actually terrible.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Mermaid. Yeah, I don't know. Like, trains could go faster, more damage. I don't know.
I was like, maybe a submarine just like breaks and he's at the front of it and it just goes down and it's.
We're in the 1400s in this book.
That's true. No submarines. My bad.
No submarines. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, let's see.
I know that this is also skipping towards the end, but I really liked how his friends were very accepting. Like, I think Inca. Is that how you say her name? Inca.
Mhm.
I loved her. She was
Mhm.
wonderful. And then how she was just like, oh yeah, Cole and I, we were supposed to be married, but we came like just like a brother sister relationship. And then like how even though when she like had to turn back into her, I was gonna say Little Mermaid, but her mermaid self, how accepting they were. They're like, they're not afraid of you. They just think that you're beautiful. And I'm like, that's what friends are for.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that she had that relationship. Because with Yemoja. Oh, I hate not being able to say it right. I'm sorry. I'm gonna second guess myself all throughout this. But she's just like, don't show anyone who you are because they won't understand. And then like they actually understood. And so I was glad that she had that kind of friendship, even though she couldn't kiss a guy without turning into sea foam. I was bummed about that.
That actually goes right into my next kind of post-it note where it was just like I love the little like tie-ins because this is obviously it's a retelling, and even in the author's note at the end, like Natasha Bowen was saying, The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen was her favorite, and so and Yemoja is telling her at the end of chapter 7, where it's just because if you act on loving a human, your form will be revoked and you will be nothing but foam upon the sea, and that's just a callback to the actual story The Little Mermaid is and also the pain that she felt walking in her feet, in her legs, in her human form. That's also a thing that happened in The Little Mermaid, and I just love the little tie-ins, but she just made it her own and so original as well. So
I always wanted there to be like a puddle somewhere, be like, get your fins out, like recover real fast.
Every time there was water, I'm like, let your fin out, let your fin out.
And then a small part of me was just like, maybe she should get in the water and then act. I didn't know how fast she was in the water, so in my mind, I'm like, she's lightning fast. She can go quickly. So I was just like, jump in the water, get behind the boat, and just like push them there faster, like motorboat somehow. Don't even, Nicole. I know where your dirty mind went to. But I was just like, swim fast and just get there as quickly as possible.
Maybe Yemoja could have helped them out with that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, motorboat. Oh my God, it's so funny.
Although I did recognize, and maybe Nicole has a post-it note or wasabi tape note. I'm like,
washi tape?
Post-it.
I
don't know how to say it word. Nicole, you know this about me.
I think Bree also called it wasabi tape too.
What's it called? Washi tape?
Washi.
I'm gonna be completely. I don't even remember what I was saying anymore. But yeah, keep going.
I couldn't imagine not thinking The Little Mermaid when reading this.
Yeah.
I probably should read The Little Mermaid.
Is there an after dark version of this book for your Saturday Night Live suggestions for the author?
There could be. There could be a motorboat in that one. That's what I was gonna say. So I remember there was a moment where he was like putting his head on her shoulder or something, and then she like moved her hand, and then he was like laying on her chest. And I was like, ha, she's finding a way around the rules.
Oh my gosh. There's a little bit of romance, I guess you could say. Just a tad.
Just a bit. A
little bit. A smidgen.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I was just
smidgen.
Like,
it was a little bit, just a little
sprinkle.
I was worried going into this because I knew it was, kind of YA. That's sort of the age demographic it's aimed at. But there was zero cringe in this book, which there was none at all, which is just great. So it made it very easy for me to consume.
Yeah, they all just seemed kind of older. I mean, not like teens. I mean, I don't even think that we got their ages.
Yeah. That was 18, 19.
I don't remember that.
Because I feel like
I don't remember.
I swear there was a line in there, and I don't know why I'm picking up. She was like, he must have been right around my age, like 18 or 19. So I think she must be older. Like she might have died when she was 18, 19, and then I don't know how many years she's been.
It said she had been Mommy Wata for a couple of months.
Oh, okay. So she'd probably be still about 18, 19 then.
Yeah, that's how
I would assume around that.
Her memories.
Mm-hmm.
but still pretty young. Do mermaids have ages? That's a good question. I mean, after a certain point, maybe?
I mean, maybe after a certain point, but who knows?
Are mermaids immortal? That was a couple times where I was like, can she be killed? Because the water seemed to heal her. So anytime she was injured, I was like, find water now.
Well, even at the end when she pushed Isu into the water and she like cut herself on the reef and it even said like it said that it healed before it even had a chance to bleed. And I'm like, yeah, she got some power now. So I'm just
it's gotta be in that magical water.
Yeah. Do mermaids have ages? I think they're timeless.
Yeah.
This book needs a companion guide. I would love that, like a glossary but she does put like the books that like more books to read, about to know more about.
More like I wish the Barnes and Noble's version had more like depictions, because I loved the way that she described the scales, especially at the very end where she was telling how the first time she changed that her scales resembled like the sky sunset, and I was like, before it was like the pale pink and gold, and I'm like, I kind of could see it, but as soon as they described it as like the sun setting, I was like, oh my god, like you can't not like mistake that for what it should look like.
I also I love the detail of how they were describing her hair. I thought that was pretty cool, and then especially they braided her hair into a map. I thought that was possible?
Amazing. Like my mind was blown. I go, how do you do that? Can that be done?
It really actually can be done.
What? That's amazing.
It might take some time, but yeah, it can be done.
They did say that she was there for several hours, so I was like, I could believe it, but like how?
That kind of just leads right into my next post-it, though. You guys
when he went to check the map.
Yeah, when Cola was like looking at the map and he like had her face and he's like perfect, but he was looking at her face and not the map. That kills me in any book. When it's like the love interest and he's like perfect or the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and he's looking at her
rather than whatever they're supposed to be looking at. Yep.
I can't. It kills me.
They have those cute moments. I like them.
Yeah,
they're so cute. The life or death situations here. Okay. My next post note after that is when Cola was originally trying to tell Issa to go, and he was like, "We don't need your help anymore. I don't need your help anymore," and saying, "I'm not your big brother. I never was."
Yeah,
shut the front door. Yes, you are.
Like trying to make him like feel bad,
right? And upset him enough that he'd leave. Yeah.
I get like, that, but
that was a little much.
Yeah.
And how did he get back to the boat? Because they said that Cola watched him as he went into the like forest. So in my mind, I'm trying to think like, how did he even get on board? Like, I'm very confused about that. I should just let it happen. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking he was watching the spot the whole time. Did little Issa just like run around and get up behind him? Or I don't know.
I think I remember when they first came upon
because aren't there like some type of like a
magical? They're like a fairy.
Yeah. Magical creature.
The Umboes, I think that's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember. I thought I had a post note for it, but I can't seem to find it. Where it's just Simi had to be led to the village that they were in where they took Cola, because they can basically like hide. So if they don't want you to see them, they won't. So I think that's kind of how he might have gotten that.
It looked like he left, but he never did.
He looked like he left and disappeared and doubled back.
All right, I accept that. I will accept that.
Yeah, because they're like fairies. Yeah. So, but I was like, that was a little much when he was just like, "I'm not your brother." Like, God, he's just a baby.
Their whole little group, they were. All I imagined were Oompa Loompas, so they kind of freaked me out a little bit. I don't like the green-haired, like orange people. Nope, they got creepy.
Not orange?
No, they're not. But like in my mind, that's how I saw them a little bit, and I'm just like, Because they kept describing him as like a very
They're
like I was
little.
thinking like a
They're
Barbie
very
doll type person, like very tiny.
I don't think they're that little.
Oh, okay, maybe my mind just went like in the wrong direction, but they freaked me out.
I was picturing. Remember the Mummy 2, The Mummy Returns? And there's that jungle scene, and the just nicer versions of those.
Well, they just all look like children, like all.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I felt bad for them when all of a sudden, like, they were at the meal and everyone stopped and then just started screaming. I'm like, that can't be good. Like, I'm concerned about everybody there. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then she had the vision, and I'm like, that's not good. Whatever's happening here. That's probably when they got kidnapped. Put two and two together. Sorry, go ahead.
That's the cold brew that's talking. That's not Jen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, so when she actually went overboard and met with the god, the Orisha that's chained down there. Oh yes, yeah. And I was so kind of irritated where like we didn't know what they were promising each other. I was like, tell the class.
I know.
I think I have an idea, but
Yeah.
at first I thought like, oh, maybe he wants her to replace where he is, and he's in the depths. She's in the depths of the sea, and not him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was questionable.
I kind of figured how like he wanted her help to like free himself. Like in kind of a way, like, because he's very lonely down there, like, so he's like he wants to be freed of the loneliness, basically, is what's happening. And she didn't tell anybody when she came back on the ship. And she said, my promise to Olokun is not one I have to worry about for now. She's like, that's a problem for future Simi.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I'll deal with that later. It's fine. Oh
yeah, God. I thought I was between a couple different things. Like at that point I was like, oh, he's probably gonna ask to switch spots like with her somehow. Then the other one is she was already gonna have to talk to, I'm gonna call it the Supreme God because I'm gonna butcher names and I feel terrible about that. But I figured that she would, like, part of the deal would be, hey, before you talk to the Supreme God about what you've done with Cola, I want you to pass along all of my messages that Isu hasn't, so that maybe I can be freed. So I thought that might have been part of it, and then that because she only gets one meeting with this supreme being, that like she wouldn't get a chance to explain herself, and then that would be bad for her and all her sisters.
Maybe that's going to happen in like the second book. Like he's going to find out all the stuff that all the messages that was meant for him but was never told, and actually like do something about it maybe.
But like you said, maybe like it's like the Little Mermaid, maybe he will allow her to be human again.
Maybe
that'd be nice
to be with Cola.
Yeah.
For a second one I thought when
vice versa.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was hoping at some point, like if he died, that he would become a mermaid or a merman, I guess, at that point. But then the other one was when she had had her moment with the supreme being, and she came back and she was like all happy and filled with light. I was like, oh my god, he made her a human. Yeah. But then no, she just dived out of the ocean and she's now shackled to the bottom of the sea.
All right, you want to hear my unpopular opinion?
Oh, go for it.
Go for it.
Cola should have stayed dead.
Oh!
Yes, because she brings him back. She brings him back and is like, "Oh, okay, you're alive now, but we can never see each other again. So, enjoy your heartbroken life there." And it's just like
maybe he has a higher purpose.
Maybe we'll know in book 2. I'm like, oh, she's dead.
But I get it, because what is the benefit of him being alive?
Yeah,
to be honest,
he's alive.
I mean, he's alive, but like, I mean, the main thing was for his siblings to save his siblings.
I think if it was a standalone book, I would 100% agree. I agree with you until the second book comes out, because I'm gonna bring it to Kingsman here for a second. Fucking Princess T had no purpose in movie 2. Like, she was a pointless character and could easily have been replaced. So until we read book 2, I don't know which way I lean on this, but I totally agree. Like if this was a standalone, if they had brought him back and then she was just down at the bottom of the sea, I'd have been like, should have just like took a dagger to his heart a little extra, just be like, come on, you're dead, yeah.
Because all they needed was his siblings because they needed them for the land.
The
to
land,
make
yeah,
it
to keep everything
so.
in balance.
And I loved the twins. Love the twins.
Yeah.
I desperately want more of them. So I hope we get more from them in book 2 for sure. And Alicia, I don't think there is a date for book 2, but I don't know.
Not yet. Because this one just came out, didn't it? Very end of 2021.
It came out in November.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I would just assume like maybe like the same time this year. Yeah. Because sometimes like it does take like a full year. Sometimes longer. Yeah. But I would just say probably as stunning as this one. But so we're at the part where we were with the hyenas and she's saying that you smell as if you might be kin to Yinka. And so I'm really hoping that they didn't kill her because she is kin and she's a hyena shifter and everything is fine.
Yeah, I don't think Yinka's dead. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't think
mainly
so.
because I don't want her to be dead.
Rescuing somebody with her pack or whatever. So who knows?
Right. Because I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah,
I mean, it was enough
either.
It was enough with Issa.
We hadn't lost Issa at that point yet, though.
I know. But now, I honestly loved my feelings now.
Inka and Issa, they were cute together. She would always like hold on to him, being like, "I'll protect you." Okay, I ship it, even though you're probably, a tiny little person. I imagine like a little Barbie-sized person, and then like this giant. So that wouldn't have worked. But
oh, yeah, and like it was Issa was the one who cried out for her when the rock closed over the tunnel. Dang it! I forgot about that until I saw it.
Oh, dang. Why are you highlighting sad parts, Nicole? Come on.
I have to. I was highlighting like crazy in this book. Honestly, I was just like, this seems like it's important. But yeah, I was highlighting all the emotional bits too. Okay, yeah, this next post-it note is when Issa was unalived. Wow. Too soon. Yeah. I think honestly, all of my post-it notes we have talked about. I think.
It's not really bad for him because he well, first of all, I was kind of a little bit peeved when like the rule was once Issa showed them how to get to, is it Oku? How you say that? Where his village?
Yep.
Yeah.
Once he like guided them there, he was supposed to be sent back immediately, and they didn't send him back immediately. I was just like, "Come on, you gotta send him back." So then when they didn't send him back and he showed up on the ship, I'm like, whatever happens to you at this point is kind of your own fault.
I think they were like a little occupied. They really didn't even think about that.
Honestly, yeah, because when they just got there, they had his dad had told him that the twins were gone. So they were just like, focus has shifted. Hi, Cache. Hi, Britt. Hi. Oh, I honestly think you're going to love it. I think you are. I did. I loved it. But yeah, we talked about all my other post-it notes. So anything else that you all want to talk about?
I feel like when she said her last goodbyes, I thought that was sad. I cried.
That was kind of sad because she was kind of harsh, I feel like.
Well, I think she was trying to do kind of what Cola did with Issa. It was like, let's have like a clean break and then you'll move on.
I just think mentally for her it was like, okay, I can't have an attachment. I can't do this to myself or to him. I got to break him off somehow.
Yeah.
Cut him off.
It hurt.
Yeah. It hurt. It did. Yeah. And how, like, it did. It literally just ended. I was just like, whoa, like, we're not going to get anything else. Yeah. Like, it literally was like, that was it.
Like
We're
she
done now.
jumped into the ocean, and then
Yeah.
that was it. It's just her sacrifice that she made. That was really unexpected.
She's like, I have to go now. Otherwise, 'cause she even said, like, I have to go now. I can't let him touch me or I'm not going, you know? So she just ripped off the Band-Aid and dove in.
Yeah, because if you think about it, since she's going to be in the depths of the ocean, she won't be able to come back up for her memories.
Yeah. I didn't even think
about
that, Brandie.
I feel like he's gonna forget. Maybe that she won't, because when she went down to him the first time at the bottom of the ocean, it seemed like she retained a lot of her memories. Because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, if you go in the water, like you're gonna forget about everything. And even when she was in the river and the little serpentine beast, like anytime she was in water, like I was really concerned that she would just kind of forget, like, oh, I've got to come back out, and like continue on with this journey. So I wonder if she will actually retain these memories somehow, like if they're so ingrained in her now, if it will kind of defy the ability to forget.
Well, if she remains in the ocean for a very, very long period of time, like she only would go in the ocean maybe for a few hours or so and come back up. But this time she can't come back up at all.
Right.
True.
That's what I'm saying. Like when she
would be gone.
When she first went down there, she was down for like 5 minutes. And she's got to be down there forever.
But in that essence, like when she was on the beach and then she was literally walking into the water, like by the time her head went under, she forgot about everything except for the color of her mother's eyes.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just like, even though she was underwater, I was expecting it to be more immediate to forget like what her purpose was to go all the way down. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe once you make a pact with a god, you should like that sticks with you.
Her memories back, you know, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
They'll grant her memories.
Because she was having like flashbacks like throughout the entire book, you know, and she remembered, you know.
And then she remembered what she did at the very end and how she became who she is.
Yeah. And that's pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know we already talked about this, but back on it again, I really like that she jumped and that she wasn't one of the ones that was like chained or tied up, and that it was her choice to kind of jump.
This is a huge sacrifice to make. Is either you pretty much, she didn't really have an option. If she went and stayed on the ship, she would have died. And she jumped off, she would have died. So she really didn't have any options.
Yeah.
But I did love the fact that, you know, I think the other gods, they were going to chase the other ships or whatever to save them. I love that.
I was really glad that the one ship that did pick them up, that was like their purpose. They were going to go to all of those other ships and they were going to take them down and they were going to free the people. And I was just like, you get them all, get all the ships.
I definitely love that aspect. I did not see that was going to be in the book. So.
Yeah. Liz, there is going to be a sequel.
Do we know if it was supposed to be, if it was always going to be a sequel?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, because it does feel like there's a lot of elements of this that could have made a great standalone. But I mean, could you know, or a great jumping off point for a series as well. So
true.
It's almost like Natasha Bowen couldn't decide until like the end.
Or her writing is just that good.
Yeah.
Right. Like she got towards the end there, and it was just kind of like, it's like very open ended. Like there's still more story to tell for sure. So.
Makes you like want to guess what the next one would be about, because I really wouldn't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, this story, the story straddled the line too between the heroines and the hero's journey. You know, because it felt like the heroine's journey for a while, because you know, finding your place in the world, finding your tribe and stuff. But then at the end, you know, there's the sacrifice that you know is very, you know. Very key to the hero's journey of, you know, you can't be happy, you know.
Sometimes Cola makes me get on my nerves a little bit, because he did so much sacrifices.
Yeah,
right.
He made demands. He's just like, you take me home. Now you get to take me over here.
Yeah, wait, just demanding, summon your goddess for me. Like,
that beginning part. I'm like, sir, say thank you first of all.
so annoying when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like she
That's
was
for
doing
sure.
all the work.
She honestly, she carried them all on her back. She really did. Maybe that's like, maybe the second book is he's gonna try and find a way to save her.
Break
That's
her curse.
Well, I mean, his siblings are, gods, so
Yeah.
maybe they could do something. I don't know.
She's pretty far down there, though.
I mean, maybe they could talk to Umoja and turn him into a mermaid and have him.
Yeah.
Well,
nice. Did it say, were there any male Mommy Waters?
So. No, I think they're only girls.
Yeah. I actually looked up the term Mommy Wada, and it even said like typically they're female. But hey, I feel like Umoja could do whatever she wanted at this point in time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would allow it.
I think we all would.
Like, yes, turn him into a merman. Yeah. Swim down there.
Hello to Mari owes her a few favors.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, I freaking loved it. I love that we had such a great first book for our, this is our first live stream, for book club. I really loved it. I really did. And I kind of almost want to reread it.
I mean, yeah, I think it's that good where you can always reread it. I know I will definitely do it, but also with the audiobook. So
yes. When you do, let me know how you like it, because I think the narrator is fantastic.
Who's the narrator?
Let me pull up. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, I'll definitely need to reread it before the second one, because I have the memory of a goldfish. I'm like a mermaid myself. I'm on land currently because I just finished the book. But as soon as this live stream ends, it's basically my head going under the sea water. So it's all going to flit away.
Float away.
I wish I had a better memory when it came to books, but that is not accurate.
Yetiti Badaki?
Yeah.
If I pronounce that right.
I'm gonna send you, Brandie. I'm gonna send you a screenshot because I feel like I would butcher her name.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Accent? What kind of an accent? Yeah, so definitely gonna do the audiobook next time.
Yeah,
it was really good. I had to, I had to slow it down because I was missing parts and I was doing more distracting things than usual while audiobooking this one. And I had to take note to the counterpoint of yours, Jen. I had to write down some of the names to keep track of them. And for this too, it was like, I'm not going to be able to regurgitate them just from memory.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe she should add a glossary of the names. That way you won't forget. Maybe she should add that next time. Maybe
like with I always love it when authors do that, where they give you the
phonetic spelling,
a list, and then a phonetic like how it's supposed to be. I'm the worst with names. Like I'm terrible. I'll be the first to admit it. Even like some of the places, I really want to know how it was said. So I think that's probably what like slipped me up a lot of times. And then I would stop and I would try to like slowly say it to myself. So I think that was probably part of the issue that I had. So I still really enjoyed it. I had a good time reading it. So I wouldn't like give it a bad review by any means. But yeah, I would definitely try the audiobook next time.
I think you would really like the audiobook.
Freaking getting rid of Audible at the wrong time.
I got this on Libro FM.
I don't know what that is.
I love it when they put the glossary. Yep. You have to read it at the end because you don't want to spoil yourself.
I love what Jay Kristoff does in his books, where he will actually, like, if it's the sequel, I wish more authors did this, gave you a quick recap being like, here's what you need to remember. Like, these are the important things that you should not have forgotten about. So even if you like just read it, you can either choose to skip over it, or you can be like, okay, the author is specifically telling me that this random thought that I thought was nothing was actually super important. So I wish they did that.
Sorry, I just found like a really cool little tidbit of information. The audiobook narrator is actually a Nigerian American actress, and she played in the Starz series American Gods.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
That is a nice fact to know.
This her.
Ooh.
I feel like she looks very familiar.
Yeah.
Have you
Has
seen
she been in
American
anything
Gods?
else?
Oh, I don't know.
Why do I always end up looking orange? I did this earlier to try and like get my face back to slightly normal color. I'm not orange, guys. I'm sorry.
It's also on This Is Us.
Yeah, I don't watch that show.
Oh, watch it. Yeah. I think I've seen her face, but I haven't watched it.
Liz's question here, I'd say Hades and Persephone easily is an allegory that could play into the second book.
That's true. Oh, this question here, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alicia. You are not crazy, Alicia. Okay, random question, Alicia. And I'm sorry to put this out there. Your birthday is March 19th, correct? I have things in my calendar where I put people's birthdays. So when she told us that last time, I've been writing it down. But now I'm like, I saw it in my calendar and now I'm questioning it. So I just want to make sure I don't write your birthday on the wrong day. So if I say happy birthday, I don't want it to be the wrong one. Anyone wants you to tell me your birthday? Great. I'll try and like social media. You'd be like, happy birthday. Okay. Thank you. I have like 3 calendars, so I put it in the first one and then I second guess myself on the next ones. And I'm like, before I write this down like permanently in all of these, I'm gonna ask.
This is also the cold brew talking.
Nicole, your birthday's in there. You and Joe's anniversary's in there. You're gonna be 13 years this year. No. Yes. Is it 12 and next year is 13? It's 13 this year.
Yeah.
I was right. It's okay. Also, correct me if I'm wrong. March 7th for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, like I had it on my calendar, and I'm like, I know I asked you this before, but it felt like wrong, and I'm going, why don't I know this better?
Well, I mean, it's not your anniversary.
I know, but I want to be able to like remember. I'm one of those weird people that like on social media, I want to be like the first person to be like, happy anniversary, or like to text you like randomly being like, my husband hasn't even told me happy anniversary, but Jen did. And I'll be like, points for Jen. This is why I'm the bestest.
Oh my gosh, Jen.
I try.
Are you
I'm
drinking
gonna be
water
up
now?
until like 3 a.m. guys. I can guarantee you. I was ready for a nap at like 2 o'clock. I got this. It was only a grande size, guys, but it was the nitro cold brew. I am feeling it. I'm ready to roll.
Jen, start drinking some water.
I was like, I only drink this much.
Drink that. I don't need to be this.
Yeah.
I won't go to sleep.
Wait until Jen's anniversary gift arrives. Not creepy. You decide.
I don't think I've ever given you an anniversary gift. I might send you a card. That's one thing I want to work on is doing more crafts, and I do a lot of card making, so I could make you a card.
Oh, cool.
Oh, thanks. That's so sweet.
I don't expect it. If I have the time for it, I'll definitely get it out there. Otherwise, you'll definitely at least get a text message.
Oh, God. A text is fine, Jen.
And then I'll be like, I hope Joe buys you a bunch of books. Like, that's my gift to you. Do you want me to text Joe? I have Joe's phone number. I could text him too. That will be creepy. I will not be doing that.
No, go ahead, Jen. Just text him right now.
Are you watching this live?
Let's just follow this train wherever it's going to go.
Oh, goodness.
Brandie's never going to come back.
She's scheduled to come back next week. You're not allowed.
I'm doing this.
Like, I'll be here to everyone.
Every time.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
I don't know. Like, I'm nervous about
time.
next week. Or 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. So yeah, our next live show is going to be for The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. Again, another beautiful cover. If you want to take a screenshot. Yeah!
Brandie, you can come back anytime. Look at you, already got it down.
Natural. You're a natural.
You got the right hand and everything.
Oh,
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, again, yeah, like what Jen was saying, mix, and Brandie also said this as well, but I think it was before we were live. Some mixed reviews about this book, you know, because we have Alicia said she didn't really enjoy it, but also Bree at the Lock Petition said she loved it. So, but Bree will also be on the chat for next time as well. So I am super excited. Super excited for this one.
But scared a little bit.
little bit.
If I'm bored, I don't know.
I'm just glad I don't have to spend a credit on it. Scribs got it on their
Scribs
library.
got it.
So,
Hoopla has it.
Hoopla has
but you
it.
don't have
Okay.
Hoopla. I remember that.
From the
Brandon
library.
Liz is 100% accurate. Just be careful what you share, because if it's completely random or something that you would think that I shouldn't remember, it's my brain's going to latch onto it and be like, remember this forever. Remember this math that you learned in high school that was supposed to probably something that you should learn? Get that out of here. We got to save room for this random factoid.
Oh goodness.
I am like really feeling this cold brew. Like I honestly feel like I'm gonna go through the house later and I'm just like, let's clean this, let's clean that, let's clean this, let's clean that. Put a puzzle together really super fast. Or I'm gonna crash really hard. It could be either. Is your show, Nicole? Go for it.
Have a pillow nearby.
I know.
Nicole's
probably
gonna
crash.
3 a.m. You still up, Jen?
Are you still awake?
I ran around the block 16 times trying to go to bed. Can't do it.
Oh my goodness. Next thing in the morning, you'd be like, oh my gosh, what happened?
That's also true.
Don't you have to work tomorrow?
I do, but I don't have to work until 12:30.
Oh,
but my
nice.
schedule's going back to normal next week. Woo!
Oh, good.
So freaking excited.
If you guys are following the Uncle Rick's read along, tomorrow we're talking about the Tyrant's Tomb, book number 4 in the Trials of Apollo. Here on my channel. If you want to take a screenshot. Jen messed up on the hands.
Honestly, I couldn't remember, and I was like, I second guessed it. I'm like, I think it's this one. Like, I'm pretty sure. And then I'm like, no, it's definitely this one. And then I did it. And I was like, no, how could I fool myself? Damn you, cold brew.
I feel like with all the energy you have, I might just drink that in the morning. Hopefully, I won't be so amped up later on in the evening.
Yeah, I'm like very concerned for the fact that I have to go to bed at a certain point. Like, it's gonna be
you have to go to bed sometime at night.
Sometime, but not right now.
I'll probably just end up reading before I go to bed.
Yeah, I gotta actually finish the Tyrant's Tomb.
That's been one of my. I've been actually really good about that. So physically reading is one of my goals for 2022. Yeesh. Okay, so I've been like physical books that I own. So at night I have my new Kindle. So I sit and read in bed. So I'm kind of like in bed, but I'm also reading. And I've done well. I know that we're only 5 days into the new year, but each of the 4 first days totally read. So I'm on a roll.
Good job.
Yes,
Nice.
good job.
I'm super proud of myself. I'm reading from, I already told you this on Sunday, but from, is it called From Blood and Ash? By Jennifer L. whatever her name is.
I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
I'm digging it. I wanted her to bang so bad. I mean, I'm only trying to read like a chapter a night, but like
a chapter a night. You're gonna finish that at the end of the year.
I haven't read any of her books.
Well, I think there's only 40 chapters, but I'm sure I'm gonna read it a little bit faster. But I had priorities. Okay, it's a long book, but it reminds me. So, Aaron, you have it there in the back of your screen. Lady Midnight. I feel like Cassandra Clare, like her chapters are like 40 pages long. So pretty much, that's what it feels like.
I can't do that with books. If the chapters are so long, I'm not going to want to read it. Like, I will get zoned out really quickly. Mm-hmm. Unless it's an audiobook. If it's an audiobook, okay. But if it's a physical copy, oh no.
Yeah, this is one, like, her books were really super cheap. And then I don't know if it was like a deal she had going on at one point or if this is just normal for her. But you could get the audiobook narration for $1.99. So I could get the ebook and the audiobook for like less than $10, which was worth it in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So even though I have the audiobook version of this, I'm trying to physically read it right now. But I've heard that some people say that the third book and other books just get too long. So if they start to drag out, I can switch over to the audiobook.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My only beef with that whole series is that, yeah, they're a little bit too long. Like, honestly, 150 pages could have been cut from each of those books.
How many books are there? Like every time I look, there's a new book. Like
There's 3
prequel.
currently out.
Yeah, 3
Then
currently
there's
out. Prequel,
4th one
and then
coming out.
that actually I think it's probably is it going to be out this month?
It is. I want to say March.
Oh, March makes
12th.
more sense. Hold on, I have my.
But I also
my
feel
list.
like that's a date that I randomly pulled out of nowhere. And if it's March 12th, this is one of those random facts that took place of actual some knowledge that I probably should have kept.
It is in March. I know that, but
we do.
Oh my gosh, We
need
Hunt
to
the
read
Flame
it.
is so good.
Yes, it's been so crazy. I need to find time to read it. Maybe
It's so
March.
good. I love it. Oh, that's a really good series too. I really love it.
Yeah, and I know she's coming out with her next book.
Tempest.
Yeah,
Tea?
the Tempest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Tempest. But okay, yeah. That was our discussion of Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. I'm gonna read everything she writes. So
is this her first book?
Yeah,
yes.
debut.
Oh wow.
Her
Okay.
debut, and she knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Round of
get
applause.
Extra props for that because I mean, I've read some first books by some people and
it's a debut.
I always go back to Laurel Childs. I feel bad about that, but that was a terrible book. Like I felt bad giving it 2 stars, but I really wanted to give it 1. And then I was like, "This is your first book. Like, I'll give you a bonus star for trying. You published something. Good job."
Debut
second
book,
time around,
book in a series. What were you saying, Brandie? Sorry.
I was about to say probably the second time around you'll probably be even more like crucial when it comes to the review in their book.
Yeah, I gave you a chance. You squandered it. Oh goodness.
Yeah.
We're crossing our fingers, Liz.
Hopefully.
We're crossing our fingers. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be reading like everything by her because this is honestly my first 5-star read of the year. Which I know we're only on day 5, but this was also my.
How many books have you read? 17?
5.
5. That's too many.
Yeah, I'm up there. I think I'm on my 5th book too. So.
Dang. What do you guys do with your lives?
Read.
Read.
I haven't listened to an audiobook yet, so that's my problem.
Audiobooks are amazing.
I have. Well, you also don't commute anymore, Jen. You work from home. Like I still listen to audiobooks because I have a commute. So I'm still. Yeah. I can't get rid of audiobooks. I can't do it. I mean, I hybrid read this one, with the audiobook and with the physical, because I wanted to make post notes and stuff. But yeah, I still need the audiobooks.
Yeah, and
so it's
the Lost Apothecary. I'll definitely be needing the audiobook for that one.
Same.
And you got it. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much, Brandie. It was nice having you. We'll see you next time.
Having me.
I'm so excited. I was so excited. I was like, oh, when you messaged me, I was like, yes, 100,000 times, yes.
I was like, I don't know if I should shoot my shot or not. So
yes.
that.
Shoot every shot with me, Brandie. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
The answer will be yes. I'm so glad that we're back. I've missed you all very, very much. And we will see you next time for The Lost Apothecary. All right. Have a great night.